This week on Married to Medicine. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 9. Let's get right into this episode. The first scene is a family scene in the Harris household with Toya, Eugene, and their two boys. Now, whether or not you like Toya, we can all agree that her family scenes are everything and they are really appreciated on the show. So, what they were just talking about was that one of the sons told Toya that his brother was gonna. She asked, "Why hasn't he told me there's going to be an eighth grade dance?" And the brother says, "Oh, because he didn't get a date." And Toya is asking him once he gets there, "Oh, do you have any plans? Why aren't you going to the dance?" And that poor little boy's like, I just don't want to. I felt so bad he didn't get his date to the prom. And of course, Toya talking about her time in high school and middle school and being popular and all this stuff. So yeah, that was a nice scene. The next scene was also nice. So Dr. Jackie's in her house. She making some smoothie, some slushy. I don't know what she was doing, but she has Dr. Heavenly over and she has some very exciting news. So we all know that Jackie had a FaceTime call with the Vice President of the United States at the time, Kamala Harris, and they were talking about maternal mortality. And it was very exciting, but now Dr. Jackie actually got an invitation to attend the White House because, again, the vice president was going to have an event on reproductive health and things like that. So Jackie was invited, and she's telling Heavenly how she was able to bring a guest. And she's going to take Dr. Simone because she's an OBGYN as well. And Heavenly's kind of, she's a little disappointed, but Jackie's just teasing her because she lets her know that actually they're allowing her to take two guests. So she will be taking Dr. Simone and she will be taking Heavenly to the White House for Kamala Harris's event. And Heavenly's super excited. I mean, how could you not be excited to go to the White House? But Jackie definitely lets her know that there is definitely a code of conduct in the White House. Moving on, then we see Miss Phaedra Parks, the one and only, and she's going on a date with the guy that she met at Sweetie's dating event. So they arrive to a restaurant and he has some flowers for her, which Phaedra definitely appreciates. She says that her love language is gift giving, which I could definitely see that. And I'm pretty sure that's a date. Phaedra is going to be pretty expensive, okay? Because she is expecting high quality gifts, okay? So they're here in this state and he's asking her, like, what does she do? And, Miss Phaedra is one of many talents. So she says, well, I'm a mortician. But her primary occupation is being an attorney, which he didn't know. And she says, well, what did you think I was? A piece of juicy fruit? But she does let the people know that her type of dating is the dating of all the max that we're going to do when it comes to touching is probably holding each other's hands. Other than that, there's going to be no touching, which I respect. So they're having a good time. They're ordering some food, and it looks like Phaedra got something pretty expensive, which I caught that. So all of a sudden, the guy says to her, I know your ex. And she's just kind of like, oh, lots of people know him. And then he's like, oh, well, I know him and I know his wife and yeah, I'm pretty close to them. And she says, but yeah, I don't like hang out or anything, do you? And he says, no, when we see each other, we'll say hi or whatnot. Which, I mean, listen, to this guy, it's a little weird to say that on a first date. I know your ex. I mean, I don't know if I would say that. But Phaedra, I mean, of course it's going to be awkward. But Phaedra, she just kind of played it off as it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so then we move on and we see Dr. Simone, Heavenly, and Jackie go to the White House. So we see their little journey leaving their house, going to the airport, arriving in Washington, D.C., and arriving to the White House. Now, the thing that they were going to, like I said, was like a reproductive event where Kamala was up in the stage with Chrissy Teigen. And yeah, they're just talking about Roe v. Wade and all those things. I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all. It felt a little, I don't even know how to say it, but it felt a little weird seeing this, knowing that the White House is completely different as we speak. You know what I'm saying? But then after the event, the three of them go with the vice president and they take pictures, which was pretty amazing. So that was definitely very nice to see. Anyway, before you know it, they're back in Atlanta, and what they're doing now is getting ready for the couples trip. They are going to Key West. Yay, another domestic trip for the Married to Medicine cast. Anywho, in the midst of getting ready, we see the couples as they're packing, sort of, just talk about the issues that they may have with other members of the group, which, like, whatever. But then we see Heavenly getting ready, and she FaceTimes Phaedra, and she lets her know that she had invited Apollo to the couples trip. It's kind of weird to me. Heavenly, I guess, is asking if it's okay, but I don't really see the point of her asking because she had already invited him. So, yeah, she's FaceTiming Phaedra, and Heavenly's excuse for inviting Apollo is that because he and Phaedra are the only divorced couple, maybe it'll be a learning lesson for all the other ones. Maybe they can have some tips and things like that. And Phaedra is just like, oh, okay. But, like, make it a surprise. Okay. Of course, Sweet Tea and Dr. G, as well as Quad and King, talk about, the fact that their exes are going to be there. Dr. G and Quad, who were married at some point. When Quad does tell her man, though, about her ex-husband is going to be there, she says to King, oh, well, I feel a little nervous. How do you feel about my ex-husband being there? And King says, well, I don't give a F. Do you care? And Quad says, I don't give a F. And I said to myself, if you didn't give an F, then why'd you just say you were nervous about 3 seconds ago? You know what I'm saying? And Quad, if you really didn't care, you would not even fix your mouth to even utter his name or what he was. Like, come on. No, don't get me wrong. These two individuals were married, okay? They weren't just dating boyfriend, girlfriend. They were husband and wife. They lived in the same house for years. But what I'm trying to say is when Quad and her fans talking about, oh, she completely moved on. She don't give a damn. Clearly she does, okay, people? But she does give Fing a fair warning that there might be some things discussed that will make people be uncomfortable when it comes to their past marriage. So then they get to the airport. Some of them document a little bit of their time on the plane. And then they arrive to their destination. Now, even though it is domestic, it was a nice place. Way better than whatever the hell they went last time. I can't even remember when they went to go to that place where Curtis cheated on Jackie the first time or whatever it was. Yeah, this was a much better location. So everybody is arriving. Of course, Cecile and Simone already got there a little bit earlier because they are the hosts of the trip. Now, let me tell y'all something. I had secondhand embarrassment of knowing everybody was there. People that don't like each other, people that were married to one another, new people in the picture. And keep in mind, I don't even know these. I haven't even met these people. And if I felt some type of way, I can't even imagine how I would have felt had I been there. Like the fact that Dr. G and Quad were married, but now they're divorced, and they had an ugly divorce, and now their new spouse and boyfriend are there, and Heavenly has beef with Contessa, and I just felt, I don't know. Listen, they better than me. One thing we're gonna get into this a little bit later. When Simone is in a group setting, she gets on my nerves. She talking about, let me give King a hug, and someone says, well, give Greg a hug too, and she's like, come here, Greg, and again, very uncomfortable, very awkward. So, Contessa and Heavenly, they kind of made up, actually, because Heavenly's being nice. She says hi to Sweet Tea, gives her a hug, and when she says hi to Contessa, Contessa hugs her, and she grabs her so tight, and she playfully pulls her to the ground. So that's a good way to start the trip, I guess. So once they go to their hotel rooms, Simone and Cecile make their way around because Simone says that the theme of this year's couples trip is teamwork makes the dream work. And today they're going to have a boat race, a kayaking, relay race. So there's going to be different teams. So each team has a different name and a different color. So her team, her and Cecile, they're going to be with the new couple, which is Mimi and her husband Steven. Now definitely a bit of a disadvantage because he was a pro athlete. And then it's going to be Dr. Heavenly, Damon, Dr. Contessa, and Scott. Ooh. Then the other team is going to be Dr. Jackie, Curtis, Sweet Tea, and Dr. G. And then Toya, Dr. Eugene are going to be in the same team with Quad and King. And Phaedra is the odd one out because she doesn't have a couple there. So she's going to just go ahead and be with Dr. G, Sweet Tea, and Dr. Jackie. So then they go over to have lunch. I gotta say, I really loved Sweet Tea's energy and her attitude because she was trying to have a good time and not make things awkward. So they're arriving to the lunch. Phaedra gets there, and Simone notices that Phaedra ended up cropping her shirt a little bit. And Phaedra says, "Of course I cropped it. You think I was gonna wear a regular?" She says, "I do too much because they do too little." Yes, Phaedra, drop the mic, and we all know that's an iconic quote of hers from her time at the Traders. So this is what I was telling y'all earlier. This is where Simone gets on my mother freaking nerves. Okay, so everybody is sitting down, getting ready to eat, having a good time, but Simone loves to call somebody out in a group setting in such a condescending way. She gets up, goes all the way across the end of the table where Phaedra is, says, "I made these shirts on behalf of you and you have the opportunity to redeem yourself for calling us all bitches." Simone says, "We were wondering what kind of bitches are we?" And Phaedra says, "Okay, you want me to tell you? Well, y'all wanted to talk about a charity and y'all only wanted a $25,000 goal, and I said, no, we could do 75, we can do 100,000. And when y'all were doubting me and said if I was going to put the rest and we didn't get it, yeah, I said I'm not going to let no type of bitches stop me from giving the total amount. Like, it is what it is." So then here go Quad, thinking she the leader of the group, talking about, "Yeah, but these are educated bitches. These is bitches hanging out in the president's office." I said to myself, okay, wait a minute, Quad. First of all, these ladies were the ones they were getting ready to kick your ass out last season, first of all. Second of all, y'all so educated and y'all hang out with the president's office, and why did y'all only agree to donate $2,500 for the charity? If y'all so, high up and all this stuff, why didn't y'all donate more? At the end of the day, it was Phaedra who had to, put the rest of the bill in. That is a lot of freaking money for one person. And you know what? Phaedra just says, okay. Everybody, like, okay. Like that. They are so oppressed and triggered that she called them that. First of all, doesn't Heavenly call y'all the B word every chance that she gets? Y'all are so hell-bent over Phaedra, it's not even funny. And I do think y'all are jealous of her. So then after lunch, they get on their boats and they start their little competition, team exercise activity that they were going to do. But as they're doing that, we get foreshadowing of next episode. And you guys, this is going to be the trip from hell. First of all, we're going to get Sweet Tea and Heavenly going at it again. We're going to get Quad getting into it with Dr. Mimi. We're going to get Apollo arriving and him and Phaedra getting into it because her new date is going to also get there. Then we're going to see Phaedra quit the damn show because of these mean girls. Then, if that's not enough, we're going to see Dr. G and Quad get into it. And then to top it off with a cherry on top, we're going to see King go at it with Dr. G. Now, I'm not going to even say what I think happened because I don't want to be guilty of premature evaluation. So I'm going to wait until next week. But all I know is that I know I'm going to get mad. I know I'm going to get mad. I can already predict it. But that was the end of the episode. Great episode, getting us ready for the drama that's going to unfold next week. But I got to say it one more time. Phaedra, listen, is she better than anyone? No, she's not. Everyone is the same. These are some very educated, career, independent, successful women. But what we're not going to do is sit back here and pretend like Phaedra hasn't contributed more to the reality television world. Everything Phaedra says becomes an iconic line, an iconic quote, and an iconic read. Phaedra has more iconic sayings and quotes than all these ladies put into one. So I don't like the Phaedra bashing, and I know things are going to come to a point where she's going to quit. But you know what? She's back where she belongs. in the Atlanta Housewives, but I'm sure we're going to get to talk more about that once that happens. But yeah, crazy episode, you guys. Again, amazing to see them go to the White House. Great accomplishment. But yeah, you guys, let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Simone, you gotta stop calling people out in group settings, because I know that's where you get your confidence, but you're gonna have to go get your confidence somewhere else. Because if I were Phaedra, you're not gonna do it with me. But anyway, you guys, what were your thoughts? Let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.